Thanks a lot, Ari. You too. Do well.
All right, Joseph D. Robbins, the founder of OMG Poetry, here on Lewis Live on Israel Sports Radio. We're going to stay here and not take a commercial break. We just hit the 10 o'clock hour. Thank you for everyone for tuning in to us. We're here until midnight. And a reminder, with Purim about 4 weeks away, you should check out the Israel Sports Radio store by clicking on the store tab. Great items such as T-shirts, hats, books, and much, much more. Yarmulkes with your favorite sports team on them. We do ship all over the world. Price does include shipping. So check out the Israel Sports Radio store. If you're listening to us on TuneIn or Wonder Radio, go over to IsraelSportsRadio.com and check out our website. I think you'll really, really like it. Also, check out our YouTube page to check out our archive videos. We've had interviews, obviously, with Pete Rose, Kurt Schilling, Roy Jones Jr., on and on and on, and we'll be adding, hopefully, more videos to that lineup. So, again, thank you for joining us here on Lewis Live on Israel Sports Radio. On the line right now, the place kicker, okay, it looks like we have an issue here. We're going to try to get this fixed here. We're going to take a commercial break and try to set this up and get our next guest. This is Lewis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com. And we'll be right back after this.
Talk Network in the Middle East. IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Hey folks, Kagan here. As you know, I'm always staying on top of the fitness world, keeping up with current trends. One form of exercise that's been around for ages and is currently being rediscovered is suspension bodyweight training. So if you're looking for a way to get in shape, improve your health, and train your body to move in new ways, then the X1 by Israel Gym Systems is for you. Find out more on our website at www.israelgym.com or look for our page on Facebook, Israel Gym Systems X1. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
All right, back here on Lewis Live on Israel Sports Radio. We've had a great show, a lot of great guests. We're here until midnight breaking down Super Bowl 47, talk about other news in the sports world. But right now we're going to take it locally here to Israel and have on right now the All-IFL Special Teams place kicker for the Judean Rebels, Liran Kozo Zamir. Kozo, how you doing out there?
I'm great, Ari. Thank you.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure. It's great to have you on. We've wanted to have you on for a while. A lot of different interesting questions to ask you. Let's start first with, how did you get into football? A lot of Israelis are playing this game. A lot of them watch it on TV and say, hey, I like that. I want to try that. How did you personally get into football?
Well, first, I live right next to Kraft. I can see it through my window, actually. But I started playing in the Ravens in the high school league. I had a friend in the Ravens, and he invited me to play there, and since then I'm playing football.
So this is you were on Kraft Stadium. You see football going on, and tell us about some of the other sports you played before you got into football, and then how that relates to playing in the IFL.
Before, I played soccer in high school and basketball and everything. I did taekwondo for 9 years, so I guess the kicking, it came from there.
Right.
Really.
Exactly. So you're doing a lot of kicking in taekwondo and then soccer as well.
Yeah.
So then, is that what you decided when you were playing football, that you wanted to be a kicker? You wanted to be the field goal kicker? You wanted to kick on kickoffs? Is that kind of where that all came from?
First of all, yeah, but I played in high school. It's a funny story. I played as a D-line because I was one of the biggest player in the high school team, and I played D-line and kicker as well. But we didn't have field goals until mid-season, so I kicked only punts and kickoffs.
Okay, so there you go. And last season you were, again, awarded the All-IFL Special Teams Player of the Year. What did that mean to you? Because you have all these players that are running back balls for touchdowns, making tackles, and you were given the award of all those players. So what did that mean to you?
It means a lot. I felt important, and I was invited to the Israeli national team as well, so it was a reward itself, actually, and I'm looking forward to win it one more time this year.
Absolutely. Now, what's interesting is that there's 11 teams in the IFL. Most teams do not kick field goals. Obviously, because of you, the Rebels do, and there may be another team out there, but most of them do not. I believe Ramat Sharon does. I'm not positive about that. But why is that? This is a country of soccer players. You figure there is a lot of kicking going on. Why is it that you're one of the few guys to kick field goals in the IFL?
I'm not sure it's about the kickers, but in college and in NFL, there are 9 blockers. In Israel, there are only 7.
Right.
6, because there is a holder and a kicker.
Right, exactly.
And the snaps are not very good for field goals. I mean, there are good snappers, but they never. I think they never practiced on snaps for field goals. And there are lots of reasons, but the kickers themselves are pretty good, I think.
That's a great point. I mean, in regular football, it's 11 on 11, so you have a holder and a kicker, so you have 9 people blocking, and because the IFL is 8 on 8, it makes it much more difficult to kick a field goal. Tell us about practicing for field goals. How much do you practice? Do you practice at craft? What's the farthest you've ever kicked a field goal, even in practice?
The farthest field goal in practice, I think I scored 55.
Wow, very nice. So 55 yards. 55 yards.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And sorry?
No, that's great. That's professional. That's excellent.
And on game it was 38. 38 exactly. I thought I was holding the Israeli record, but I just figured that there was someone that kicked 41, I think.
Okay, so 41 is the record there. How do you train kicking for field goals? Do you practice an hour a day, an hour every other day? Tell us about your training schedule for kicking field goals, because there's a lot of people out there listening, I'm sure, who would like to kick field goals and want to know how to do it.
So I practice 4 times a week with the Ravens and the Rebels. I have a game once a week, and I practice field goals. I have my OT that holds the ball for me, and I kick it from the ground between the goalposts, behind the bar, and that's I'm practicing from different distance and locations. It's great for me. I kick like 80 kicks a practice.
Okay, so 80 kicks a practice, and did you, at the beginning, was it difficult? Were you not kicking it so far, then eventually you got better and better and better? Was that what happened with you in your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. Each kick I feel getting better, and every practice I come, try new things, and that makes it more interesting.
Yeah, it certainly does. We're speaking with Liran Kozo Zamir. Now let's talk about the nickname Kozo. That's what you're known by. That's what your teammates call you. Where did that nickname come from?
Actually, it came from my high school friends, and I took it to the army with me. The officers call me Kozo as well, and in the football team, and now it's Kozo. Now everybody knows me as Kozo. Okay,
so there you go. And also, you have a trademark, I guess you would call it goggles when you play, and even a lot of times I see you in person. What's the story behind those? Where do they come from?
You talking about the glasses?
The glasses, yes.
The glasses. I had a serious injury during the army in my left eye. It's a very long story, but briefly, I'm going to say that I barely see in my left eye, and I have trouble seeing through the massive lights at Kraft Stadium and in away games, and the wind inside my face. I need these glasses to help me to see, actually.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's not some special design just for fun. This is necessary. This is something you have to wear.
Yes, sir, exactly.
All right, there you go. So we learned something regarding the goggles, not just a fashion statement, of course. Now, there was an article written about you pretty recently, so tell us about where that article was written and what included in that article.
The article, it's going to be, I think, this Friday or next Friday on Yediot Achronot, Yediot Yerushalayim. And basically, it's about me and my story and my eye injury. Many people after games, when we shake hands, they tell me it's nice sunglasses, and I tell myself they don't know, so I take it as a joke. But this Friday, I think the whole story about me is going to be on the newspaper and on the Rebels, and I think it's going to be interesting. So you should go and read some articles about the Rebels.
Yeah, there you go. And again, that will get more explanation behind the goggles and that whole situation there. Now, of course, you just came back from practice. Again, as a place kicker, during practice, what's that like? Because a kicker a lot of times does things on his own, and also you have to practice with the team on kickoffs that everything is together. So tell us what practice is like for you with the Rebels.
Well, we have 2 practices a week, and when we have the feel for ourselves, it's more easy to practice kickoffs because we have the whole field. But when we have half a field, it's more complicated. But once a week, we're doing some kickoffs, we're doing punts, we're doing field goals. Today we had field goals and some punts. So it's I come there, I practice by myself, and if the team needs me, so I'm there, always there.
Okay, so there you go as well. Now, with the Rebels, 2 years ago, they won the title. Obviously, you have a great coaching staff, and Yeshaya Brill was on the title team, and Barya, a couple of people there, Zach Miller, and so on. What have they told to you? What have you learned from them and all their football experience?
I came, as you know, 1 year after they won the championship. They heard about me playing for the Ravens, and they recruited me. I learned a lot from them. I was starting to play D-line this year. Defensive end with Barya, and he taught me lots of things. And of course, Yeshaya Brill taught me really almost every rule about American football. And Zach Miller, he's my holder basically for the field goals. So he taught me a lot as well about kicking, and I learned from everyone actually.
What's great about Zach, I don't know if most people know this when watching it, but Zach is in his late 30s, correct?
Correct, yes.
And he plays, at a very high level. He played earlier, I believe he played some college football and then stopped and got to play football again in Israel. But this is a guy with a lot of football experience that really helps you.
Right, that's true. I play as a running back. I think he's one of the best running backs in the league, and everybody going to remember him as a great player here.
No doubt, and he was the MVP of the game, of the title game, when the Rebels won it all a couple of years ago. Just a sensational game. I remember broadcasting that game and calling that game as well. So great stuff from that end. Now, do you watch the NFL? Do you watch American football?
Sometimes, yes.
Do you have any thoughts about the Super Bowl or anything this season, any players that you like, any kickers that you like, and you try to say, I want to be like this guy, I like him. Anything with the NFL that you want to talk about?
Basically, I don't really have a favorite team in the NFL. I love the Patriots because of Robert Kraft, because he helps the league.
Sure.
And I like the Ravens because I play for the Ravens in high school league, so all my friends are Ravens fans.
There you go.
And I think they're in the Super Bowl this year.
That's right.
And I don't know a lot of kickers. I know David Akers. He tied the longest field goal record this year, I think, 63 yards, I think it is. And I heard of Billy Cundiff. I heard he's not that good.
He missed a big kick last year for the Ravens, actually, right?
Yeah.
So against
my
the Patriots.
friends came to me and told me I should have kicked instead of him.
Right. Yeah, you probably would have made it for them. So it was not such a good kick. Also, when I'm curious, so much of kicking, of field goal kicking, is mental because, as you said in practice, you made a 50-yard kick. You have the leg to do it, but at the spot when it's going to happen, the crowd, if the game is close, how do you deal with that mentally to focus in, concentrate, and make your kick?
I try not to think about anything. Just I'm thinking about what's going to happen after the kick, because a quarterback has four tries to get to the first down. The kicker has only one attempt.
Right.
So
that's right.
So I take it easy. I think I'm not thinking about if I'm going to miss the kick, what's going to happen, but I think about scoring. And I missed lots of kicks last year and this year. But I don't take it hard, and I'm just looking forward for the next one.
That's a great attitude. I think that's the attitude you have to go in when you're kicking, of course. Last question before we let you go. Give us a fun scenario, an ideal scenario that maybe you guys are in the playoffs. It's a big playoff game. It comes down to the end. You're kicking, the crowd, all that kind of stuff. Do you ever have those fantasies about making a game-winning kick in the playoffs for the Rebels?
I hope so, but actually, I want the team to win and not me as a kicker, because then it means that the game wasn't too good for the offense or defense. But
nice.
Last year I kicked on preseason game. I don't think many people know that because there is no recap for the preseason games. But I kicked the winning field goal against the Pioneers.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So it was fun. We won the game, and what happened next. But this year, if we get to the playoffs and win a field goal, if I score, it's gonna make me and my team very happy.
See, I like that answer, that you would rather not be in that situation, rather just the team wins, easily. But if you are in that situation, you would definitely like it. So, Kozo, great stuff. Now, the Rebels' next game, for everyone out there listening, if you want to watch Liran kick in person, you can watch that tomorrow, Ramat Sharon, 8:30 p.m., the Rebels versus the Hammers, and you can see some field goal kicking in person. So, Kozo, good luck to you and your team tomorrow against the Hammers, and thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Be well out there.
Thank you. Great night.
All right. Liran, Kozo, Zamir here on Lewis Live on Israel Sports Radio. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll have more Lewis Live and programming notes. We have very exciting news to talk about. So I want everyone to stay through this commercial and then listen to my announcements. This is Lewis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Hey folks, Kagan here. As you know, I'm always staying on top of the fitness world, keeping up with current trends. One form of exercise that's been around for ages and is currently being rediscovered is suspension bodyweight training. So if you're looking for a way to get in shape, improve your health, and train your body to move in new ways, then the X1 by Israel Gym Systems is for you. Find out more on our website at www.israelgym.com or look for our page on Facebook, Israel Gym Systems X1. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed frequent flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.IsraelGym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Back here on Lewis Live on Israel Sports Radio, and our thanks again to Liran, Kozo, Zamir, the place kicker for the Judean Rebels, for coming on the program. Now, we have a gigantic show for you next week. I want to start promoting it a week in advance. Everyone needs to listen to this show. If you've just tuned in now, you need to enjoy this show and then listen to the show next week. It's a huge show because it's a few days before the Super Bowl. I've kind of brought out all the stops. Everyone's coming on this program, a lot of great guests. Let's start. We're going to have Pete Shepard, who's from WEEI. He is one of the funniest sports talk show hosts out there. He's great. Of course, the Patriots just lost. I'm sure he's going to have a lot to say about that and a lot to say about the Ravens getting in and playing the 49ers. We will talk about the Celtics and their struggles. Pete's a Boston guy. Of course, WEI is the biggest sports station in Boston. So Pete will be coming on. Dimitri Salita will be coming on. He has the big fight against Hector Camacho Jr. on national television. Dimitri will come on this program, talk about his training, talk about where he's at mentally, and talk about the fight. Paris David Blumenthal is a two-time national karate champion. Will be coming on the program. We'll get the latest from Paris David. He's written a couple of best-selling books, so we'll get the latest. If he's writing a book right now, his thoughts on the election that occurred yesterday, all that good stuff. Shlomo Allen Weingrad, who won a Super Bowl with the Dallas Cowboys in 1993, was a blocker for Emmitt Smith the year Emmitt won the rushing title. We'll get his thoughts on the Super Bowl as well. Two-time figure skating champion Tamara Katz, the talented and lovely Tamara Katz, who I had the privilege of meeting about a month ago. A lovely, lovely woman, so she'll come on the program as well. Ruth Cohen, who plays soccer here in Israel. It's possible she may be here in studio, or she may be in India. Ruth does a lot of business overseas, so we're working on that. He is not confirmed yet, but we're hoping to get on the great Bruce Jacobs, who hosts a national talk show in the United States, legendary talk show host. Bruce Jacobs will have him on as well. Jerry Coleman from Baltimore, from the Fan in Baltimore. Of course, the Ravens in the Super Bowl. I thought that was certainly appropriate. We will also have on Brandon McDougall, star running back for the Tel Aviv Sabres, and his head coach, John Sharon, and a couple of other surprises. The lovely Moran Magal will be on as well, so we'll have a little music to happen on the show. You don't want to miss next week's show. If you've not listened to my show in a while, while you're listening right now, obviously. So that's a bit of a misnomer. But the point is, if you know someone who's not listened to the show in a long, long time, tell them to listen next week. That's a show they don't want to miss for any particular reason. We're going to take a commercial break, and on the other side, our NHL insider, Daniel Friedman. This is Lewis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Hey folks, Kagan here. As you know, I'm always staying on top of the fitness world, keeping up with current trends. One form of exercise that's been around for ages and is currently being rediscovered is suspension bodyweight training. So if you're looking for a way to get in shape, improve your health, and train your body to move in new ways, then the X1 by Israel Gym Systems is for you. Find out more on our website at www.israelgym.com or look for our page on Facebook, Israel Gym Systems X1. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years of coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Terry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.IsraelGym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Thank you for joining us here on Lewis Live on Israel Sports Radio. We're here until midnight. We've had a great show so far with a lot of great guests, breaking down Super Bowl 47 and talking about some of the outside news of sports. We did talk about Phil Mickelson's statement that he was taxed a little bit too much, talk about the conspiracy theory Tim Brown put out there that Coach Callahan, who was coach of the Raiders, during Super Bowl 36, Super Bowl 37, somehow, some way tanked the game to let his friend John Gruden win. So a little stuff. We'll also talk some boxing, Yuri Foreman, Dimitri Salita. But now to talk NHL hockey, our NHL insider, Daniel Friedman. Daniel, how you doing out there?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing great. And I'll tell you, before we get into your predictions of what's going to happen this season, I want to play you a song because it just feels so good to play it. So take a listen to this real quick here. Hold on one second. I just want to get the correct thing up. But it just feels so good to have it. So take a listen and see if you can recognize this. And this is a courtesy of our friends at ESPN. It sounds good, doesn't it, Daniel?
Almost forgot what that song sounded like.
It has been a long time. That song always gives me chills. I love it. I love the production the ESPN does with all their hockey. And of course, NBC's had some games as well that they've played already. So it's fun. It's great to have them on. We really thought we were going to lose the season, but came through in the 11th hour. So let's go like this. Let's start first. We want to get as much hockey breakdown as we can here. Let's talk about the biggest surprises of the season so far. Again, it's early, but this is a short season. We have about 48 games. So, 6 games is 1/8 of the season. So it's important already looking at the trends. What are some of the biggest surprises for the season so far? Teams that you thought wouldn't struggle, teams you thought that wouldn't play so well, and are doing just that. So talk about that.
Well, let's start with the Anaheim Ducks. They've been a positive surprise to me. This is a team that's they finished last year, they finished 25th out of 30 and in the league, and they finished last in their division. And now they managed to win their first 2 games of the season, and they're outscoring their opponents 12-7. And, there's no shortage of offensive capability on that team. You got Corey Perry, who won the scoring title 2 years ago. You got Ryan Getzlaff, Bobby Ryan, and Timo Solani. But defense and goaltending has been an issue for them. That lack of defensive depth has been exposed and exploited before, and they've scored 12 goals this season, but they've given up 7 as well in just 120 minutes of hockey, so you could tell it's happening again. And that's going to be an issue if they can't solve it. And Jonas Hiller has been very unpredictable between the pipes over the last years for them. So he's got to snap out of it and provide consistent quality goaltending for them, because if he can, their early success is going to be short-lived. But then you got the Philadelphia Flyers, who've been on the wrong side of the scoreboard in all 3 of their games. And they lost to Pittsburgh, they lost to Buffalo last night, they lost to the New Jersey Devils. They've been outscored 11-3 since opening night, and that's not particularly helpful when you're trying to stop the Golden State either. You've got Ilya Brizgalov, who's their part-time goaltender, part-time philosopher, and he's been really shaky. So does the team in front of him. I wouldn't put all the blame directly on his shoulders right now, but if he plays anything like he did last year, they're in for a long, long ride. And they don't have a backup goaltender like Sergei Bobrovsky like they did last year, who's going to bail him out when he falters. Michael Leighton is the backup there now, and he's decent, but he's not very good, and I wouldn't necessarily count him to bail them out if need be. I think the Flyers are going to wake up, but whether or not it's going to be too late by then, it's a good question. They're not the only ones who struggle, though. You got the LA Kings, the Vancouver Canucks, the Rangers, the Capitals. These are all teams that have performed below expectations, and I still expect those clubs they'll rebound, and I say the Flyers will do the same. But it's definitely a surprise the way they've struggled out of the gate.
All right, so there's some surprises that we have early. Let's talk about the awards, your predictions of who will win some awards. Start with Rookie of the Year. Who are some of the candidates out there for you, and who do you think will eventually pull away with the award?
Well, obviously, we have to start with this summer's first overall pick, Nail Yakupov. He actually scored his first NHL goal last night in Edmonton 6-3 loss to San Jose. He was on the power play. It was a nice shot. He's certainly going to be in that mix for Rookie of the Year, but I don't think he's the lead dog. Right now, I have to go with St. Louis Blues forward Vladimir Tarasenko. He's been on an absolute tear since opening night. He's got 3 goals and 2 assists, 5 points in the Blues' first 3 games. Tampa Bay's Corey Conacher is another guy to look out for. He was undrafted. He's an undersized winger who's great vision in hockey sense, and he's got 5 points in three games. He actually became the first Lightning rookie to rack up 4 points in his first 2 NHL games, and that's not too shabby because this is a list of Lightning rookies that consists of Steven Stamkos, Vinny LeCallier, Brad Richards. So, it's a pretty impressive list, and he's topped all of them. And you've also got Jonathan Huberdeau, who's drafted 3rd overall in 2011 by the Florida Panthers. He's got 3 points in just as many nights. And I like the way he sees the ice and the fact that he drives right to that. Most rookies tend to rely solely on their puck handling skills, and they find out the hard way that they're not going to be able to pull off all those fancy deeks that they used to be able to back in juniors in college. But Huberdeau's a smart kid, and after an extra year and a half of development, he's clearly demonstrated to me that he's ready for the big show. As for who I think comes out on top, I think it's going to be Tarasenko, simply because of his explosiveness. To me, he's the only skater in the group who he strikes me as someone who can literally blow the doors off of an opponent. And I fully expect these guys, Yakupov, Huberdeau, and Conacher, I expect these guys to become those types of players over the next few years. But you look at a guy like Tarasenko and what he's been able to do early on, and it's clear to me that he's already risen to the occasion.
All right, so there's some predictions there regarding candidates for Rookie of the Year in the NHL. The NHL is interesting because they have funky names for the awards. It's not just simply MVP, Rookie of the Year, or sometimes they name it after different players, different people.
They're all named after somebody, yeah.
They're all named after someone. So there's the Art Ross Award for most points. Who are some of the candidates in that award, and who do you think will eventually win it?
You have the usual suspects. You've got Crosby, you've got Evgeny Malkin, you've got the two Sedins from Vancouver. I think Sidney Crosby's going to win it. He struggled a bit out of the gate. He has just one assist in 2 games. But remember, he didn't play overseas during the lockout, and he has more than enough talent to break loose and take scoring lead in the blink of an eye. This is a guy who can, he can have 3 points the next night, 4 points the night after that, and just like that, he's looking down at the rest of the league. He's someone who can really, he can dominate a game. So I'm not too worried about him. I think he'll break loose. He's missed a lot of hockey over the last years, and I have a feeling he wants to prove to people that that he's not done for, that he's not the next Eric Lindros, that he is every bit the superstar that he's always been. Right? A motivated Crosby is a productive Crosby, and a productive Crosby is a superstar. And I predict he's going to win the scoring title and the Hart Trophy as a regular season MVP.
Wow. Okay. So the Hart, most points. There's also the award Rocket Richard for the most goals. Is Crosby going to get that one too?
I don't think so. I think that's going to go to Patrick Kane of the Chicago Blackhawks. He's off to a blazing start. He's got 2 goals in his first 3 games. It's very hard to that's not a very convincing argument when you say someone has 2 goals in his first 3 games, but it's the way he's played, and obviously he's been very good early on in his young career. He's 3 years removed from his only 30-goal season, which he had back in 09-10 when the Hawks won the Stanley Cup. But he's showing the type of confidence that all premier snipers need to if they're going to be successful. The way he's carrying the puck right now, he exudes confidence. I expect that he's going to demolish his previous career best, and I expect him to demolish the competition as well. He's going to take the Rocket Richard Trophy.
All right, then, of course, we have the Vezina for the best goalie. Talk about some of the candidates out there, and then who do you think will eventually pull away with that award?
You have Henrik Lundqvist, you have Pekka Rinne, you have Jonathan Quick. I'm actually going to go outside the box here. I'm going to take Kari Lehtonen of the Dallas Stars. He was always a solid goalie, but he really came into his own last year, and he had 2.33 goals against average, 9.68% and 4 shutouts, and he had a 32-win year. And the way he started this year, judging by the start to his lockout shortened campaign, he's been red hot, and no one's been able to douse the flames. He's won both of his first 2 starts. He's got a 2.0 goals against, 950 save percentage. He also has the 4th most saves in the league with 76. Like I said, he's a gutsy pick just because you have the elite competition out there, like Henrik Lundqvist, like Jonathan Quick, Pekka Rinne, and Ryan Miller. But he's jumped out to a fantastic start, and there's 45 games left on the docket. There's no reason he can't hold on, and I like his chances.
All right, and of course there is also the Norris Award. That's the Best Defenseman Award. Scotty Yzerman, I think, won about 8 of those. Something to that effect. Bobby Orr won a bunch of the 70s. Who do you think? Who are some of the candidates this year, and who do you think pulls this one off?
Well, you've got Shea Weber of the Nashville Predators. He's my pick to win it. You also got Ryan Suter of the Minnesota Wild. I would say those are the 2, or maybe Drew Doughty of the LA Kings. I would say those are the 3 lead dogs. But I think Shea Weber's going to win it. I picked him 3 years. This is the 3rd year in a row I'm picking Weber to win. In the last 2 years, he's been denied the hardware. The first time it was Nicholas Lidstrom who beat him, and he's pretty much one of the best defensemen of all time. I'm not going to get upset that he was passed over for Lidstrom. But last year, Erik Karlsson of the Senators won it, and basically because he scored a lot of points, and he's a young kid, and he's not very good defensively yet. So the award's technically supposed to go to the best all-around defenseman, and it went to someone who basically is a one-dimensional player and just scores right now. So I was a little upset that Weber didn't get it. But this year, I do think, especially now that Lidstrom is retired, I think Weber is going to get it. He is the best all-around defenseman in this league. That's what the award's given to, and that's what he's shown. And especially now that he's not with Ryan Suter anymore, I think he's – again, I don't think – I don't think people think this to a certain extent, but, there is some sort of in his mind, there's some sort of I can do this even without Suter kind of complex going on in his mind. And I think he's going to want to prove people wrong. And I think he's going to have just as good a year as he always does, Suter or not. And that's why he's going to win the Norris Trophy.
Do you find sometimes with the Norris Trophy that it perhaps is voted unfairly, that it really it's a defensive award. It's made for really defense, and sometimes they might look at a defenseman who scores the most goals and give it to him. But is that what the award is about, or is it more about who stops the other team from scoring? So tell us what you've seen.
Technically it's supposed to be the defenseman that best excels in both aspects of the game. And like you said, you've hit the nail right on the head. I think the emphasis has been placed too much on offensive production. The guy who gets the most points is going to get the Norris Trophy, and I think that's the wrong way to go about it. I think if they wanted to do that, they should have 2 separate awards and have one award for the best offensive defenseman, one award, maybe it's the Norris, but the Norris shouldn't be going to Erik Karlsson or somebody who's simply just good on offense and can't play defense for his life. I do think that's been a problem lately, yeah, 100%.
We're speaking with NHL insider Daniel Friedman here on Lewis Live on Israel Sports Radio. Daniel, let's talk about breakout player. Who are some candidates there that you're looking at, and who do you think pulls away with this award?
Well, Kyle Turris, to me, is going to be the breakout player this year. Obviously, he didn't think as highly of Phoenix as you do, Ari, and he was seeking a fresh start. He requested a trade from the Phoenix Coyotes last year, and then after a lengthy standoff, they obliged, and they shipped him from the desert to Ottawa. And the change in climate definitely spurred a change in his attitude. He had 29 points in 49 games for them that year, and then he had another 3 points in the playoffs. And his skill level, to me, was highly evident, and he reminded me why he was a third overall pick back in 2007. And this year, he's got 3 goals already in his first 2 games. He looks fine for a breakout to me, and you can just tell by the way he's skating with the puck right now. He exudes confidence. If you're confident and you're talented, that combination can produce striking results, and I think Turris is going to have a breakout year.
All right, and let's talk about another important award, Comeback Player of the Year, and it could be more rare this time around because you have the short season and you have more time for players to maybe recover from an injury. So tell us about some candidates you're looking at who pulls away with this award.
Some candidates, it's hard to really tell who the candidates are going to be, just because to me only one has really emerged right now, and that's Daniel Lecavalier of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Ever since his 70-point season back in 2009-10, he basically been in a reverse free fall. He had just 54 and 49 points the 2 years before. But this year so far, he looks poised for a bounce-back year. He's got a goal and 3 assists in Tampa Bay's first 3 skirmishes. And it's not a case of him simply getting lucky or being in the right places at the right times. He's playing with the kind of pizzazz that made him a legitimate threat for pretty much his entire NHL career. And with his mojo back, I expect Lecavalier will once again be a major factor for the Bolts.
All right, now let's get into the Stanley Cup Finals, because I think this could be a prime year. People may have a hanker for this. It very well could happen, and probably a year it needs to happen more than any other year to have the L.A. Kings and the New York Rangers in it. The 2 biggest markets in the United States, it's very possible. The Kings are the defending champs. The Rangers very well could have won it, but they ran out of gas, in my opinion. They had those 2 long...
Absolutely, I agree. They ran out of gas.
2 long, grueling 7-game series. I believe Barry Melrose picked the Rangers to go in. I'm not sure. Who do you like? Tell us, not just the 2 teams you like going in, but some of the other teams, the top-tier teams, and then your 2 teams who get in the Stanley Cup Finals and the team that wins it, in your opinion.
Well, I'm not going to say anything because I agree with Barry Melrose, but the Rangers are definitely in my mix. I think you have to look also. You have to include the Pittsburgh Penguins anytime you're talking about an elite team. I don't think the Penguins are as good as they've been in past years. I think the loss of Jordan Staal is bigger than people seem to think it is. You're losing a guy who's done so many things for the Penguins. And as a third line center even. So, but they are still an elite team. There's no question. I think again, some of these are teams that are not playing well right now. But again, I would expect to bounce back. You have like the Washington Capitals. They're a team that I would expect to contend again. They've been going through a rough stretch. The Boston Bruins, are every bit as good as they've always been. And, even though Tim Thomas is not there, their younger goalie, Tuukka Rask, is very good as well. So I would expect them to contend. I do think the Rangers, out of those, I think they are the best equipped to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals, just because there's not a single aspect of their roster that lacks depth. And their blue line is probably the most well-patrolled in all of hockey right now. They haven't always exactly been an offensive juggernaut, but they certainly haven't been anemic. And, of course, they got Rick Nash in the offseason. That'll give him a tremendous boost, and already has. He scored his first goal as a Ranger the other night. You've got Chris Kreider, who was a revelation in the playoffs, and he's got a bright future, and they have a full year with him now. They've got a full year of Carl Hagelin in the lineup. He was another young player that came up in the middle and provided a lot of energy and spark. They also signed Jeff Halpern in the offseason, who's not only good in the face-off circle and a good veteran presence and leadership, but he's also Jewish, which is an added bonus, of course.
Oh, nice.
And
very good.
You also can't forget about Henrik Lundqvist. Last year's Vezina Trophy winner. He's got a bit of rust to shake off because he also, like Crosby, he didn't play overseas during the lockout, and you could tell. I mean, he already made one spectacular save. I think it was an opening night. He made a phenomenal save against Boston, but. He hasn't been the Henrik Lundqvist we've been used to seeing, and I think again you're seeing some of that rust. I think he's going to work out the kinks and get back to that elite level. you add up the pieces. This team is the class of the Eastern Conference, right? And again, they're off to a disappointing start, but with John Tortorella calling the shots, behind the bench, the nonsense usually comes to a screeching halt, and that's going to happen pretty soon, in my opinion.
All right. So, by the way, can you give me your thoughts on the Coyotes? Because Coyotes, we thought they were going to leave Phoenix. They last minute don't, and they have a great run last year. They get to the conference finals and probably played the Canes better than any other team did in the postseason. So, what do you see happening out of my Phoenix Coyotes this season?
They played really well, but I still have a hard time picking them to make the playoffs, simply because, again, a lot of the teams around them got better, and they lost their leader, their leading scorer, their leading point producer, their leader in assists, Ray Whitney, and that's a big deal for a team that doesn't have a ton of offenses. That's a huge deal, because now you're relying on guys like Shane Doan, who's coming towards the end of the line. You're relying on youngsters like Mikhail Bodker, who are, again, I think are going to be very good, especially Bodker, and he really broke out in the playoffs. But again, it's a little too soon to be relying on all these guys, and for the amount of offense you need from them, it's a bit much. And the defense is solid. Mike Smith, he was very good last year. Also, I think he'll be good again this year. But again, it's very hard to pick them because there's so much depth in the Western Conference, and it's not that I think they're a terrible team, the Coyotes, but I just don't see them being as deep as a lot of these other teams, and I think that's going to hurt them.
Wait a minute, hold on. But you don't think they're going to make the playoffs?
It's going to be very tough.
Oh, wow, that'd be well. Hopefully they get in, because the whiteout is one of the greatest things.
But hopefully I'm wrong.
Yeah, hopefully you're wrong, and the whiteout is sensational when it takes place. One of the best things, in Arizona going on is when they get the whiteout, everyone dresses in a white shirt and goes to the playoff game. So it's a lot of fun stuff there. Daniel, even though you're an NHL insider, because the Super Bowl is a week and a half away, I've got to get your thoughts. Give us a breakdown.
Wait, we didn't finish the Western Conference, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please, go ahead. Please continue.
The Rangers don't have a team to play against.
So you see the Rangers getting in
unless you want to just hand them the Stanley Cup, that would be fine.
But right. So who do you see come out of the Western Conference to take on the Rangers?
I think it's going to be the Chicago Blackhawks. I think the Kings are awfully close, but I think the Blackhawks are going to come back with a vengeance. They've been roaring out of the gate. They're 3-0. I don't really have to sit here and explain to you who they have or they don't have, or whether it's Patrick Kane or Jonathan Taves or Hossa or Sharp or Brent Seabrook or Dougie Keith. The only questions I really have for them are in goal. Can Corey Crawford rebound from a disappointing season? He had a terrible season last year in net. If he regains his focus and confidence, the team is going to be impossible to stop, and I predict they'll return to the finals. All
right, so you're saying a Chicago-New York finals?
Yeah, I think that would be just fine for the ratings as well.
It would be excellent for the ratings. You'd say the two top markets. You have two of the three markets. You'd also have, I believe, two of the original six. Is that correct?
100%. Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so you'd have an old school finals with two big markets that could really help hockey in a year that it needs a lot of help after their second lockout in about 7 years.
Absolutely.
All right, now let's get the breakdown. Super Bowl 47 in a week and a half. The Baltimore Ravens taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Give us, before your prediction, give us a breakdown, some of the things you see from both squads heading into the ballgame.
Oh, the Harbaugh Bowl. It should be a fun one. And it's Ray Lewis's last game. There's a lot of excitement going into this game, a lot of anticipation. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game, maybe a little closer than some people think. I think if there were any doubts as to whether or not Joe Flacco was elite, I think he put them to rest in his last game. I've always thought he was elite. I think he went through a rough stretch, but I always thought he was a hell of a quarterback. I still think that. I think the Ravens are going to end up coming up with a win, just because against me they are. First of all, they're much better defensively. I think they're going to be able to neutralize Kaepernick in a way that the other teams simply haven't been able to. And again, I don't see them. I don't see the 49ers beating the Ravens in this game. They're just not as deep. They're just not as good. Again, they've got a very motivated team. They got a very good quarterback he's probably the hottest hand in football right now. But again, I think they're running into a team that they just cannot beat.
This is incredible. I'm going to have to double check this, but I believe now I've had, I think, 8 predictions, and I think it's 4 for 4. 4 for the Niners, 4 for the Ravens. I'm going to have to go through the podcast and listen, but it's just incredible the picks we keep getting, that it's even, and a lot of people think it's a close game. What score do you have for the ball game?
Oh, boy. That's going to be very tough. But I'm going to go with 34-27.
Okay, 34-27. And to tell you, your prediction of a touchdown is the highest difference of a score pretty much we've had. Most people have it within 3-4 points. The spread's about 4.5. So either way, it's going to be a great game. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think it'll be very close, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's definitely not going to be a blowout.
Yeah, I don't think so. All right, Daniel, thank you so much for being on Lewis Live on Israel Sports Radio. It is great to have hockey back, certainly, my friend. And I'm gonna play that song as we take you out here and go into commercial. So, Daniel, thank you.
Nice of you.
Yes, again, thank you so much. Great breakdown as always.
Thank you.
Be well. All right, NHL insider Daniel Friedman here on Lewis Live on Israel Sports Radio. Here's that music. Good stuff. Listen to it, and then we'll take a commercial break. Deep voice Brian Hoffman and more on the other side. Lewis Live, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Hey folks, Kagan here. As you know, I'm always staying on top of the fitness world, keeping up with current trends. One form of exercise that's been around for ages and is currently being rediscovered is suspension bodyweight training. So if you're looking for a way to get in shape, improve your health, and train your body to move in new ways, then the X1 by Israel Gym Systems is for you. Find out more on our website at www.israelgym.com or look for our page on Facebook, Israel Gym Systems X1. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed Frequent Flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years of coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.IsraelGym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
All right, you're listening to Lewis Live in Israel Sports Radio. A reminder for everyone to check out the Israel Sports Radio store by clicking on the store tab. Great items such as T-shirts, hats, books, and yarmulkes with your favorite team on them. Price does include shipping, and we do ship throughout the entire world. That is the Israel Sports Radio store by clicking on the store tab on IsraelSportsRadio.com. If you're listening to us on TuneIn or Wonder Radio, go over to our website, IsraelSportsRadio.com, and check out all the fun and all the great stuff there. Also, check out our YouTube channel, which has interviews with Pete Rose, Roy Jones Jr., Kurt Schilling, and much, much more. We will take a commercial break, and on the other side, the voice of Baltimore sports, deep voice Brian Hoffman. This is Lewis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com.
You're tuned in to the only all-sports talk network in the Middle East, IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Hey folks, Kagan here. As you know, I'm always staying on top of the fitness world, keeping up with current trends. One form of exercise that's been around for ages and is currently being rediscovered is suspension bodyweight training. So if you're looking for a way to get in shape, improve your health, and train your body to move in new ways, then the X1 by Israel Gym Systems is for you. Find out more on our website at www.israelgym.com or look for our page on Facebook, Israel Gym Systems X1. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
You're already using a credit card every day. Why not feel good every time you make a purchase? When using the HAS Advantage Support Israel Visa card, a percentage of each purchase you make will be donated to your choice of 24 Israeli-based charities, while still earning a reward point for every dollar spent. But wait, these rewards are even better than the standard rewards you get, especially when using them towards Israel travel, with the best conversion rate on El Al's Matmeed frequent flyer program. Earn double points at some of your favorite supermarkets and restaurants in the U.S., as well as discounts all over Israel. If you love traveling and supporting Israel, HAS Advantage is the card for you. Just give us a call toll-free at 1-866-6-ISRAEL. Sign up right now with the code ISR10 to earn 2,500 bonus points. That's 1-866-647-7235. HAS Advantage. Earn rewards. Support Israel. Offer valid for U.S. citizens only. Terms and conditions do apply. When dialing from within Israel, please dial 1-800-200-818.
Israel Sports Dynamics specializes in football consulting, equipment, uniforms, and more. Great brands such as Nike, Russell Athletics, Schutt Sports Products, and many more. Just one call away. With over 30 years coaching experience with university and professional athletes, Harry Hill, owner of ISD, can advise you for all your sports needs. Call 054-581-3248. That's 054-581-3248, or visit our website at www.isdisrael.com. If that's not easy enough, click on the ISD banner on the Israel Sports Radio website and be part of the game.
Are you tired of paying for expensive gym memberships that you don't use? Are you frustrated by not seeing results? It's time for the X1. Israel Gym Systems is proud to launch the X1 suspension and bodyweight training system. Lose weight, build muscle, improve balance, coordination, and flexibility. With your purchase of the X1, you'll receive a free membership to IsraelGym.com and access to our archives of videos and exercise plans. Sign up today at www.IsraelGym.com and get ready for the new you. Israel Gym X1. Higia Hazman.
Broadcasting live from Israel.
IsraelSportsRadio.com.
Back here on Lewis Live on IsraelSportsRadio.com. We have a great show the rest of the way. About an hour left. We're here until midnight, local time in Israel. So thank you for tuning in to the first 5 hours. Just some excellent stuff. Again, I'm going to have to calculate this on Friday before hopefully get up the podcast. I believe we have an even split. I'm pretty sure we've asked 8 people who is going to win the Super Bowl. We've had 4 for the 49ers, 4 for the Ravens. I could be 1 or 2 off, but the point is that this is going to be probably one of the closer Super Bowls we've ever seen. And last year was a 4-point game. You know, just to go through, last year was 4 points, Super Bowl 47. 46 was, not as close. Super Bowl 45 was not as close. Super Bowl 44, which was, of course, the Colts versus the Saints. By the way, folks, I am not reading this. I promise you, I'm not reading this. The Colts lost right at the end. 43, very close. I think it was a 4-point deficit. 42 was a 3-point deficit, I believe. These games have been very close. Have been very entertaining, very exciting. I think we'll see the same coming up in Super Bowl 47. Now, a gentleman that has stuck with the Ravens, even though they were a 9-point underdog against the Patriots, and they were a 9-point underdog against the Broncos, is my man, deep voice Brian Hoffman. We're going to get him on in about 30 seconds to break down the Ravens and their chances of winning Super Bowl 47 against the San Francisco 49ers. On the line right now, the voice of Baltimore sports, deep voice Brian Hoffman. Deep voice, how you doing out there?
Oh, man, Ari, it has been a surreal week of gratification on multiple levels, sir.
Certainly is, and now I understand you're a little under the weather. Is that because you were up all night partying because the Ravens get to the Super Bowl when they've won 3 games, 2 of them they were huge underdogs, and I picked against them 3 times. Most people thought they wouldn't be here. The game against the Broncos when Flacco throws that touchdown, as you talked about last week, it was a 2.5% chance that would happen. This is Cinderella. Cinderella is going to the ball. The Ravens are Cinderella. They're in. So how shocked are you that the Ravens are in this game?
Oh, you'll have to excuse me, Ari. I was just on the phone with Wes Welker's wife and Michael Crabtree's assault victims. They're planning something, to make up for what they did. And, Welker now, has to be all apologetic to Ray. So we're just like planning a little something there. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And we'll talk again, the Super Bowl so much. Let's talk about the AFC title game and Madam Thomas's kick to Ed Reed. What was that all about? Why did she do that? Why is there not a fine or a suspension? That kick could have hurt Ed Reed for the Super Bowl. Also, it was stupid because Tom Brady could have, in his little delicate way, as you would like to say, could have snapped that leg back. He's torn an ACL before. What the heck was Madam Thomas thinking?
Look, it's hard to really look at that play and judge a lot of things. It reminds me of some of the action we had on the Thanksgiving game there with Sue and all the things he's done on the field. But, aside from the fact that I like to definitely air the trash on Madam Thomas, Ed Reed, basically they were texting each other, Tom Brady and Ed Reed, and then Reed called him up. He called up his boy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He said, look, Madam Thomas, you got to be real. And, and Brady said, yeah, it was kind of like a little woman there, So, things are straightened out. Apologies were made. And Brady and Giselle are now, floating a flipper somewhere in the Caribbean. So, at the end of the day, these guys are living the good life, Are
you concerned, or was Madam Thomas concerned that if he didn't apologize to big tough Ed Reed, that Ed Reed was going to take him in the back somewhere and give him a beating?
Well, that would have been another video I put up on Facebook, wouldn't it?
And speaking of videos, of course, that video started to go viral of Andy Gershman walking into the Dougie's where you work at with that Patriots sweatshirt. Apparently, that did not work at all.
Well, I'm trying to have Kaepernick come in a couple of weeks to do the same thing, Ari. The problem is I don't know if we're going to allow some, tatted monster come in like that.
He is tatted. That's it's a little freaky. It's a little strange that he has that many tattoos on his body. I don't quite understand that so much. Now, how good does it feel not only to beat the Patriots, but to crush them in the second half? The Patriots had no points. You shut them out in the second half. How were you able to get that done and accomplished?
I mean, everybody out there can, listen to the last show we did. And we were talking about New England's puff pastry schedule. Even the Houston Texans and the Ravens didn't beat the Texans, but the Texans played a better game against New England. And I was just saying puff pastry, This will be the third time I've gone on the show and said that the AFC represented the talent of Jewish day school football leagues across the East Coast there. And, New England had to play a team. And when they realized they had to play a team, and they're a soft team, and Ooh, watch it. I mean, Brady was so afraid in that game, Ari, that even the ref had a tackle there.
Right. Talk about that. You don't see that too often. The ref was kind of right in the way, but was that because Madam Thomas didn't get his skirt up in time or his dress up, and the ref was able to tackle him?
I just ask everybody out there listening to just imagine the most frightful moment you've ever had in your life. And that's basically what is going through the mind of Miss Brady.
All right, speak with Deep Voice Brian here on Lewis Live on Israel Sports Radio. Now, Deep Voice, you talk about the puff pastry schedule, but you feel like the Ravens have had a very difficult schedule in the playoffs, beating the Colts and Andrew Luck, who I didn't think that was going to happen. They go on the road, beat Denver, beat the Patriots. Talk about the momentum they're going to have going in to Super Bowl 47.
Ari, I'm going to be buying you, a matching Ravens AFC Championship hat and shirt. I look to upgrade it, Ari, to a Super Bowl shirt and hat, which I will have aired out to Jerusalem. It's my guarantee. I'm going to do that because you didn't believe that the Ravens were going to even take the Colts. That's
correct. Yeah, I picked against them 3 times. This is my worst postseason picking probably ever. I'm 500 right now. This has just been a disaster.
The San Francisco 49ers, just as easy as the politics are in San Francisco, this game, much like Super Bowl 35, will be the easiest game for the Ravens in their playoffs.
Interesting. Okay, that is true. The year they won, they crushed the Giants, and they had some tougher games in their own conference against the Raiders, for example, these type of things. So you think this will be the easiest of the 4?
Gimmicks do not work in the National Football League. They might work at such universities as University of Nevada. I'd love to go there if ever I pursue a master's and want to lose a lot of money in Las Vegas at the same time. But anyone who might venture to Las Vegas and has a thought that Kaepernick's gimmicky offense that does not survive in the NFL, because real defenses, which are not called the Atlanta Falcons and their leg and egg approach at games, and the Green Bay Packers that have been playing inconsistent defense all season, finally Kaepernick is going to be schooled at Ball So Hard University. Professor T. Sizzle, Terrell Suggs, is the professor in that classroom. And the Ravens have a week and a half, 12 days right now is the countdown, to figure out this gimmick offense that has been run in the NFL several times. There's a reason the Wildcat didn't continue for a while. Everybody thought it was God's gift to modern-day football, and later realized that God's gift really is the arm of a true pocket passer. And right now, Joe Flacco is playing better quarterback than any in the National Football League.
He certainly is, and he's going to get his money and get paid, if not next year, the year after that. Let's compare the 2 quarterbacks, Flacco and Kaepernick. Kaepernick has played 9 NFL games, and Joe Flacco has played 12 postseason games, just to give some perspective. So go ahead, give a comparison of the 2 quarterbacks. You can make fun of Kaepernick, too, if you want, whatever you want to do. This is your time, D-Boys. Giddy up.
Well, the X factor in this game, in my opinion, Joe was saying was David Akers, and that's a good one because
wait, I said that. That was my choice. I said David Akers was an X factor. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Anytime you got to have, Cundiff come in for a guy, you're in bad shape,
Yeah, that's for sure. That's not a good idea. So, okay, but the quarterbacks, though. Let's get a comparison. Yeah. Go ahead and compare the 2.
And I promise I'm going to do a shout-out to my another friend out there, Ari, who I promised I was going to answer your questions directly as much as possible. Again, Ari, I have so much energy going through me right now. We're in the Super Bowl, so don't mind me if I go on tangents. But look, Flacco versus Kaepernick is your prototypical pocket passer versus this gimmick system quarterback that we've seen so many times in the last few years. People are saying this is going to be the rebirth of the NFL. Are traditional defensive ends going to even be viable in this league anymore? People have to really calm down and stop smoking their substances, because this gimmick pistol offense is not going to work very long. I really hope the key in this game is, will the Ravens shut down this gimmick offense? Because last year in the Thanksgiving Hard Bowl #1, the Ravens easily took down the 49ers, but they had a traditional passing game at that point with Alex Smith, a much different situation, but we beat their defense. I'm not worried about Frank Gore. We are stopping opposing running backs right now. What I am worried about is how Frank Gore and how Vernon Davis, he's done nothing for me all year in my fantasy league. And even though I won one of them, it was not thanks to him. And he had, the middle dozen weeks in the regular season where he just completely disappeared. But this new offense allows every aspect of the offense to open up, even against a halfway decent defense. The problem is the Ravens, much like the Steelers and San Francisco themselves and Chicago, we don't put up with these gimmicks, and we will find a way to shut it down. If we do, Ravens will win this game handily, because the San Francisco 49ers do not have a traditional offense to come back once down 10 points or so.
All right, now let's talk about not just the position they're in now, but the position they were in a few months ago. There was a good chance the Ravens were going to miss the playoffs. You were critical of the Ravens at times during the season. You didn't always pick the Ravens. What was the turnaround where they went from almost not making the playoffs to being on the verge of winning another Super Bowl?
There have been some amazing things that have defied the statistics, Ari. We were a 10 to 15 to 1 chance to make it there. Several things had to happen. The first one was the fact that Jim Caldwell replaced Cam Cameron as the offensive coordinator with 3 weeks to go. Definitely a much discussed on both sides, the pros and cons of that, but it has paid out. Ray Rice has gotten to rock more in these games, late in games. Flacco has had a lot more passes in the middle of the field. This is the one place where Flacco has not gone in recent years. He's starting to open up as a quarterback. We are used to him making these flings down the sideline, much like he did to Jacoby Jones for the game-tying touchdown there against Denver. That used to be his throw, but now he's going up the middle of the field. And we are a scary offense here. Everybody's talking about the pistol, Kaepernick, and all this. But remember, Joe Flacco, he has 8 touchdowns right now and 0 interceptions in the playoffs. That is 3 and 2 touchdowns with a quarterback ranking of 115. Unbelievable stats. He's just on fire. And San Francisco is going to be coming from behind. I wouldn't be surprised if we run the ball even more in this game.
That's very interesting. So kind of a decoy. They think Flacco will pass because he won the game against the Patriots, and you think that the Ravens will show more run.
We have played a couple of teams in the last 2 weeks already that have, the Patriots, of course. I was talking about the Jewish day schoolers they have in their secondary. And Anquan Bolden, again, for, maybe we've gone through this a dozen times, but thank you, Ari, for Anquan Bolden. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
I consider that a very generous Hanukkah gift on your part.
It was. Yeah, it was very nice. Yeah, it was enjoy. Enjoy. We had him.
What I love about Jim Caldwell, and again, I get off subject often, but what I love about one of these major changes that we talked about, Jim Caldwell coming in, he's used more of the strengths of our players, where we weren't using them necessarily before. As you know, Bolden, is a physical receiver. He can get up and wrestle that ball away, much like Calvin Johnson can do. He doesn't have the speed and the ability necessarily to put up these monster games on a consistency. But Flacco just got the ball up there. We were taking advantage of a joke of a secondary there. I'm sorry to say Indianapolis themselves did not have a good secondary. Torrey Smith ate Champ Bailey for lunch, and that was basically the end of that game right there. And Flacco had success last year on Thanksgiving against a good 49ers defense. And our offense is only better right now. So that is why I'm rather confident in this game by the tune of Ravens by about 10 points.
Oh, my goodness. Wow, okay, again, it's been pretty even with the picks. About half the people have the Niners, half the people have the Ravens. Andy Gershman predicted a blowout. Everyone else has picked a close game. You think this is 10 points for the Ravens?
Well, Andrew Gershman is a smart football fan because he knows that, and I love you, Joe Robbins. If I was a San Francisco fan right now, aside from Melky Cabrera, I'd be feeling pretty good. I'm sorry, but this is not San Francisco's best year when one of your championship teams is aided by a steroid abuser.
Ooh,
but
wow.
And I love San Francisco, but Andrew Gershman, again, smart football fan, because we realize that at the end of the day, a good defense is not going to put up with these college gimmicks that are run at Division II schools in the NCAA.
All right, okay, all right. If it's a gimmick, how come the Falcons couldn't beat it? And how come the Packers couldn't beat it? That's my question.
Well, how come the Falcons, have allowed two, not just one, not just San Francisco back in a game, but, they've, choked miserably in the playoffs, and they don't have Ray Lewis on their side, Ari. This is also intangibly a year of destiny. This is Ray Lewis's last ride. I mean, who does God respect more, Flacco or a guy who's tatted up?
Well, tattoos are against the Torah, but Colin Kaepernick's not Jewish as far as I know. Yeah, I don't know.
I guess it's not one of the Noahide laws.
Yeah, that's right. Does Flacco maybe have a tattoo on his butt somewhere that we don't know about?
Well, all I know is Super Bowl 47. 4 plus 7 is 11, plus 1 is 12. Jacoby Jones is number 12, and he caught that ball, at the end of the Denver game. So the Ravens win Super Bowl 47.
Wow. All right. So a lot of different numbers, stuff going on. Okay. X factors. Who's the X factor? Again, I have David Akers for the Niners, and I have Bolden for the Ravens. Who are your X factors for Super Bowl 47?
I have as my X factor this offense run by Kaepernick, run by the San Francisco, created by that Nevada coach a few years ago. This pistol-heavy offense. I see that offense and the chance of it actually getting past the Ravens. Like you said, it worked against Green Bay. It's worked against Atlanta. It's worked against the teams before that. Can they continue that success in that offense? That offense doesn't work. The Ravens will handily win this game.
Wow, you are just super confident. And I'll tell you, you don't really go into the purple Kool-Aid. If you are upset at the team, don't like the team, don't think they're doing the right things, you call them out on it. You think this is dominance. Okay, let's go with this. Who's going to be the Super Bowl MVP?
Super Bowl MVP, much like it has for the last 3 games for the Ravens, will be Joe Flacco, who will, San Francisco will make it harder for him, but at the end of the day, we're going to need his arm again. We're not going to have to score as many points here because San Francisco, we're not going to have to worry about them scoring in the high 20s like many people are predicting here. I see this as a lower scoring game, in which Flacco is just going to have to engineer just enough, 2 or 3 touchdown drives to get it done.
Wow. Okay. So, again, and San Francisco being a 4.5-point favorite, why is that? Why do the experts have it at 4.5 points when you say the Ravens are going to win by 10?
Vegas, we talked about Vegas last week, and, Andrew was right. Every time we think something's heavily in the favor of picking one team, that's a plus 8.5. Like I told everybody with money last week, pick the Ravens plus the points. And if you took the Ravens straight up, you would have had even more fun in Vegas, but usually it doesn't work that way. In this game, for instance, 4.5 is not 8.5, but Vegas likes to move money, and they know that this is going to get people that like the Ravens to put money on this game. And if they had made it, San Francisco -2 or Ravens -2, they wouldn't have got as much movement. So oftentimes I see them as making the spread a larger, fatter number for people to move money around.
All right, so you're saying that Vegas is trying to entice people to bet on – I mean, what are they trying to do exactly? Because But I think a lot of people would take that bet. I think they would take Ravens in the points. So I still don't get why Vegas would do that.
I don't know their system, Ari, but all I know is that I wish I was in cahoots with one of these many families, because they're living very well, and I only wish I knew their secret.
Yeah, absolutely. The Vegas, as Andy pointed out last week, there's a reason why there's a third extra floor on Caesar's Palace. They certainly know what they're doing. They know about the formula, even though I don't like the 4.5 points. I think maybe it should be 3. But again, Deep Voice likes the Ravens to win by 10 points. Says Flacco will be the MVP. Okay, so once they win, let's assume they win. What happens next season? No Ray Lewis. Are the Ravens still going to be the favorites to defend as champions?
Flacco will get a handsome contract in the off season, which will actually benefit the team in some ways because it'll free up some cap space. That's the reason we didn't want him to be franchised under that tag. But there are going to be other areas in which the Ravens are going to lose some players. Paul Kruger is one of them. He has come on in the second half of the season in a contract year. He's going to demand somewhere around 5 years, $40 million. He's probably going to go. The Ravens have some other guys they can probably use at that position. That's probably too much money to give the man, but another team will be happy to sign him. And much like most defenders that leave the Ravens, they will have no success where they go. Second, Kerry Williams has done an amazing job in filling in for Ladarius Webb this season, corner. He will demand a decent contract himself, and he will probably not be back. And finally, Donnell Ellerbe, which is one of the reasons why the Ravens are playing much better on defense right now, much better against the run, which they were poor at earlier in the season. Donnell Ellerbe himself will demand a nice contract for a linebacker, and he might be gone. The Ravens have other guys that they feel they can plug in there, and that's the stamp of a quality organization. I love that question, Ari, because, what are the Ravens going to be like next year regardless of what happens in this game? Well, the reason why teams like the Patriots and the Ravens make it far in the playoffs every year. They know what they're doing in the draft. They know what they're doing when they're signing free agents. They know what they're doing most of the time when they let guys go. We had to let a great left guard go this year, Ben Grubbs, and it's caused some issues for the Ravens on the left side of their offensive line. Miraculously, though, late in the season, Ja Reed, who kept falling down on every snap on offense, got injured. It allowed Kalichia Semele to take over on the left guard position. He's a monster. They're tabbing this guy as a future tackle talent. He's one of these projects that the Ravens have had success on. And in the left tackle position is Brian McKinney, who we spoke about last week, who has come in, and he was in Harbaugh's doghouse all season. He came in out of shape, and he wasn't seeming to do well in practice. They sat him down. They started playing a revamped new offensive line late in the season, and it's worked. So they lost Grubbs last year in free agency. They're going to lose other players, but these teams like the Ravens and the Patriots, they continue to get it done on a consistent basis because they got quality organizations from a general management perspective. And Ray Rice will be back. Flacco will be back. It's necessary at this point of his career. It's the right time for Ray to go. What an amazing way out it would be if he could do it with another Super Bowl ring. And Ed Reed might be retiring. So this will be a much different Ravens team next year. But look how different these various Patriots teams have been over the years. And you see that even if you lose players, quality organizations will still find a way to win, will still find a way to get deep into the playoffs, even with a drastically different team.
It's crazy because after last year's AFC title loss, there was talk about Ed Reed retiring then. There was talk about Ray Lewis retiring then. How happy are you that they didn't do that, and now they get to play in a Super Bowl? And this could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play in a Super Bowl. And this could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play in a Super Bowl. And this could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play in a Super Bowl. And This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl. This could be the last. They didn't do that, and now they get to play at a Super Bowl.